Okay, sorry about the interruption. Got a phone call. When the doctor says there's nothing wrong with you, he says, "Look again, doctor. My x rays always flatter me." Incidentally, when Fang gets a low prescription number, he believes it means the doctor thinks he's important. Your husband is a hypochondriac if, number one, he puts cough syrup on his pancakes. Number two, instead of an olive in his martini, he has a tum. Number three, he heats his Band-Aids. I don't get that one. Number four, he wears a cummerbund just to hold a hot water bottle. Number five, the reason he notices you is because you're wearing a pillbox hat. Number six, he has a thermometer attached to his watch chain. Number seven, he's still wearing his hospital identification bracelet over a year after he's left the hospital. Number eight, he not only lists his medical expenses on his tax form, but insists on putting down every diagnosis. Of course, if you get ill, expect something from him like, "The steam from the dishwasher will make you feel better," or "Keep scrubbing, the air is always cleaner near the floor." Cheap isn't the word for him. Fang is such a tightwad that when we go out at night, he has the kids put on a song and dance act and charges the babysitter a cover charge. Instead of buying us an electric blanket, he got himself a pair of electric pajamas. Your husband is a tightwad if your car, number one, your car insurance policy is a $10,000 deductible. Just a note that this book was written in 1967, so just like they say in My Favorite Murder, in today's dollars, that would be a $5 million deductible. I have no idea. Number two, instead of taking you on vacation, he hangs 50 state pennants in the living room. Number three, instead of getting tickets when you go out, you're always going to places where you get your hand stamped. Number four, when you turn the heat up over 60, he accuses you of arson. Number five, when you ask him for spending money, he replies, "I gave at the office." A young man on his way down. When I met Fang, the earth stood still. The earth started again, but he stood still and never did get going. I'll tell you, it's no fun having a husband up on blocks. I remember once a vocational director said to Fang, "You must develop some mechanical skills, like getting out of bed." Everybody knows how much time Fang spends in bed. A local store that gives 30 days trial on a mattress gives Fang only 15 days. Your husband is lazy if, number one, when he leaves the house, he finds out which way the wind is blowing and goes that direction. Number two, his idea for dressing for dinner is wearing a necktie over his pajamas. Number three, the family bulletin board lists his sleeping schedule. He schedules makeup naps. Number four, he listens to the weather on the Today Show and he won't go to work if it's raining any place in the country. Number five, the directions on his medicines say a teaspoon before going to bed. And in one day, he uses 7 bottles. Number six, after his vacation, instead of a suntan, he has bed sores. Number seven, coffee doesn't keep him awake, even when it's hot and being spilled on him. The only way I can get him up in the morning is to have a Tootsie Roll waiting for him when he walks across the room to turn off the alarm. When his cup runneth over, he licks it off the bar. Fang never stops drinking. When we go out and he can't finish his 10th drink, he pours it into a doggy bag. Your husband drinks too much if, number one, he rings in every new day. Number two, when he takes you out under the stars to make love, he sees the Big Dipper and it makes him thirsty. Number three, he makes arrangements to meet you in Grand Central Station on top of the clock. Number four, he starts a whiskey chain letter. Number five, bottles outnumber the cans 2-1 in your disaster supply. Number 6, he says he never drinks alone, but considers the goldfish somebody. And for my next trick, I have the only husband who's such a show-off that he does the Watusi to Stardust. Your husband is a show-off if, number 1, someone is singing the Lord's Prayer and he says he knows all 5 verses. Number 2, he goes to a Chinese restaurant and orders pizza. Number 3, he gets the beer concession at a WCTU convention. No clue. Number 4, he reports more than he actually makes on his income tax. Number 5, he does push-ups on the subway. The little man who wasn't all there. They say marriage is a two-way street, but mine is only one way, and I have the feeling I'm going the wrong way on it. I began to suspect that Fang wasn't so smart when I discovered it was necessary to paste pictures on our grocery list. He must have a Teflon brain. Nothing sticks to it. Once you have one, husbands are not that easy to get rid of, but here are a few tricks that you might try. Number 1, remember, no matter how well you wrap him, goodwill does not take husbands. Number 2, get a brown tweed Davenport, the same material as his brown tweed suit. This will make it much easier to ignore him. Number 3, take the ID cards out of his billfold so if he ever gets amnesia, he won't be returned to you. Number 4, send him out for a bottle of milk. By the time he gets back, you can move. Marry in haste, repent at leisure. Of course, I should have known I wasn't marrying well when my folks gave me a denouncement party. Some wives have model husbands. I got one that needed remodeling. Still, no matter how far your mate comes from living up to your expectations, number 1, do not refer to him as a husbandette. Number 2, if your husband wants to lick the beaters on the mixer, shut them off before you give them to him. Number 3, when your husband tells you how good you've got it, don't say, yeah, compared to life in India. Ooh, racist alert. Number 4, if you're late getting ready, as you come out, don't say, better late than never. He's apt to say, not necessarily. Number 5, remember there is no way you can give the father custody of the children without getting a divorce. And that's the end of chapter 1.